Item exactly as described and arrived early in only 7 days from the UK. I think global shipping is bad service. Hi everybody and welcome to Thursday at the shop. It is actually market day in Garstang. However, looking at the high street, you wouldn't know it. Normally you'd have stalls all the way down the high street, but as you can see it's only starting from this end, so much quieter than normal. It could have been down to a bad weather forecast or something, but a lot of stall holders simply haven't turned up today, and there just doesn't seem to be a great deal of footfall outside anyway. The first job of the day is to get the shipping done, which also includes sales of a couple of video games such as Manx TT. This actually sold for like £11 on eBay, I think £11 or £12 on eBay, something like that. And then there was a PS2 game we sold as well, Breath of Fire. Ooh, I think that sold for like £14.30 on eBay. So those and a few other items need to get shipped. Once that's done, we're going to be putting these huge 3-foot Mario and Luigi plush toys in the shop window. Large items in the shop window are always quite good. They're quite eye-catching and people love seeing them, and kids stop and look and parents stop and look. It's always a nice thing to have in the window. I've just come back from dropping parcels off at the post office, and our lovely friends from the pet shop next door have just dropped off a nice new selection of empty boxes to use. These are great for shipping out orders. We've just finished sticking Mario and Luigi in the window, and we've had to use this string to keep their big floppy heads from dangling forward, but they look really cool and you can barely see the string from the other side, so let me show you. There they are. They look absolutely awesome. They're going to be really eye-catching in the shop window. We received this little feedback earlier, which was really nice to see. Item exactly as described and arrived early in only 7 days from the UK. Now that feedback related to some backpacks we'd sold, Teletubbies backpacks we sold. They were shown in a recent video and they were purchased by someone over in the United States. And we got a lovely message this morning as well as that feedback from the customer saying they'd purchased Teletubbies items from UK sellers before, and oftentimes it had taken in excess of a month, if not more, for the items to arrive using the eBay Global Shipping Program. I replied to them saying thank you very much, and the reason why my item was able to get to them in 7 days was because I don't use the eBay Global Shipping Program. I use it where I have to, so if I feel like I have to on a super large heavy item perhaps, but oftentimes I don't use it. When it's under 2 kilos in a small parcel situation, I will endeavor to send items using my own shipping. And the reason is I think global shipping is bad service. Global shipping program, it has a plethora of issues with it in my opinion. Firstly, they charge you customs out of the gate, so customers don't even have the option of the item like being sent and then not, sometimes items get through and the receiving country lets them through without any customs charge. Obviously, as long as you're doing your legal part, which is stating what's in the item, what the value of the item is, etc. As long as you do all of that stuff, you're doing your part. You fill out the customs form, which is really simple to do. You're doing your part, and then it's up to the the import border at the country that the customer is receiving the item in to pick up that item and then charge them the relevant customs fee. However, if you use global shipping program, it's charged here at source, so instantly the cost goes up. The general price of it is also quite high, but also the delivery times are super excessive, because when you send your items off to wherever the GSP center is these days, they will then have the item and send it forward, and that obviously adds delay because you're sending the item, so you need it to be shipped from your courier to the shipping center. Then the shipping center will sort it and do whatever they need to it, including in some cases repackage it, and then they'll send it forward. I can see the benefits from a seller perspective, because as soon as the item reaches the global shipping center, you can kind of wash your hands off the item and be like, okay, I'm now protected. If the item arrives damaged, etc., eBay's global shipping program will take on that kind of any damages that arise from that. So I can understand why sellers like to use it, but from a purely customer service perspective, it's not as good. It's just not a good service because it's slower, it costs more, they're paying their customs fees up front. There's not really many reasons to kind of promote it in that sense from a customer perspective. I don't tend to have many issues at all by shipping my stuff myself. Royal Mail International is very reasonable for their tracked services, offers a decent amount of compensation, and it just comes down to personal preference at the end of the day. I still do use global shipping, like I said, maybe for super heavy, big, bulky items, but I try not to. One of the other benefits of offering your own international shipping, and probably the reason I got this sale, was I can combine my postage costs. The customer was able to buy the item, I was able to send them an invoice with a combined postage cost. Had they bought because they bought 3 items from me, 3 different Teletubbies, 3 different colours. If all of those items were on the GSP program, as far as I know, you can't combine that shipping, so they'd be paying 3 lots of GSP. Let me know if I'm right on that. The weather has meant the shop has had another stinker of a day so far. However, we're still keeping productive. I'm currently in the process of photographing that Dreamcast console, which I've tested thoroughly with House of the Dead 2, which is fantastic. Just a note on that, if you do come across the Dreamcast light guns, even third-party ones seem to have good value. I got an official Sega light gun, and I also got a Mad Catz one. I found that the Mad Catz one still fetches £30 on its own, so those are going to be listed separately. So still being productive. Beck has just finished, or she's in the process of finishing those die-cast Porsche cars for listing, so we're still keeping going, and I'm about to nip out and do a little bit of a stock run soon, so hopefully I'll pick up some more cool items so we can list those and get some profits on eBay. The shop is now closed and I am just trying to relax a little bit now because I've just been on a phone call, and it's been one of those really frustrating phone calls where the person on the other end is doing everything they can to help, and I completely appreciate their situation, but nothing makes sense. My current situation is, in the shop we have got really awful ADSL broadband with a download speed of between 15 to 18 megs. Now when I go on the broadband checkers and OpenReach broadband checkers, every shop on this parade can apparently get full fibre broadband. Even the address that pops up from this postcode of the previous shop that used to be here can get broadband, but apparently my shop can't. No one can seem to give me a proper answer as to what the situation is, and what makes it super frustrating is the broadband box has been, the full fibre box has been fitted just above our shop, so I really was hoping that we'd be able to get some broadband action going, as in some full fibre optic broadband, but no, it looks like we're going to have to struggle on with 15 meg download speeds in 2022. On that whingy note, I'm going to call it here. Thank you for watching the video, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Beck and I are about to go home and what are we going to do? Eat. Yeah. See you later.